And here's the waiting list again.
that.
So, all right, we would be using this portion of the waiting list. Show you here. Okay. What are you guys doing? Are you printing hang tags or not? Do you do that as a permit?
Well, we print a tag. It's not a hang tag, but if the system prints them, I'll definitely. It's not a bad thing. I mean, if somebody's car's in the shop one day and they get a loaner from the dealership, it's always good for them to have something paper they can throw in the window that at least I can look at and go, okay, I get it.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So for when you're using the waiting list, what happens with it if someone is let's say a permit pops up as being available, if someone releases a permit into the system and then it becomes available for somebody on the waiting list, it will send an email out. So what we need to do for you guys is get an email into this in the configuration in permits.
Problem is I don't have
so
a user
that
with a hang tag.
Send an email to an admin to say there is somebody on the waiting list and a permit is available. Does that make sense? So then you'd be able to go into that particular user.
Perth doesn't.
Pardon me?
Perth doesn't
and
have
assign
anything?
them a parking permit. Oh, they would, yes. I'm just looking for a user that I can actually happen in the managed permit looks like. Let me jump into the managed wait list. You'll be able to see what permit is available, and you'll be able to assign it to them. But it should be coming on as so we've got a little glitch there. We're going to have to come back and just give myself a note here. We're going to have to look at the waiting list another time. What's happening here is it's bringing me up an old page, so they've got some purchase a permit here, direction thing happening. But anyway, we will cover that again when we meet the next time. All right. I'm just wondering what the other parts of this you guys are going to use. Okay. You might have temporary permits. Trying to find a permit I can actually print. Ah, here we go. This thing's giving me a hard time today, I'm telling you.
We're testing it. It's all good.
Why is that happening? It's finding the permit, but it won't let me print it. Jeez, we're going to have to come back to that one too. Essentially what it is it prints on an 8.5 by 11 sheet or whatever you print it out, and it just gives you a barcode, tells you what your permit number is, and it puts the name on it, and it's just something they can put in their window kind of thing.
Okay.
It's crazy why that's not working for me today. It's a bunch of things that are happening today that are not right. Okay, so let me make sure that we've got so we've done user management. Just want to make sure we've covered everything in the permit. So we've talked about creating the lots, permit allocation. We talked about that. We did permit search, did permit switch. We talked about proration, selling permits, permit printing. We were just talking about, and then rollovers will. So, okay. Any other questions about just the lot admin or anything like that? I think we've covered everything in that particular space.
No.
Everything's clear. Okay, because the next section we want to get into is actually the enforcement. So that I have to set up a handheld for. So we're way ahead of our time schedule here, but did you want to cover anything else in the meantime, or how about the stuff?
Well, I mean, the other thing you said is that we can save that time for later once we're actually into this and sort of hip deep in it. We can always come back and use that, and I think it will probably be more advantageous to save that time for once we're running into the roadblocks, once we have hands on it. So
okay. So I just wanted to ask you about what are your plans with lots? Are you say there's one lot that you want to set up permits for?
Yeah, I mean it's only the one lot that we have that's permit parking right now, unless we decide to add more parking or find additional space somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's right now it's just a single municipal lot that's got daytime and nighttime parking. They're separate permits, they're separate fees.
Right.
They're
separate fees.
Yes, they are.
Okay, so in that case, what we need to do is set up a virtual lot.
Yeah.
Again, because we want to have the two different price points. So
Yeah.
we were
Well,
setting
we can
our
set it
zone
up
there.
as Market Street daytime and Market Street nighttime, and then
Absolutely. Yeah. So where we were setting our zones there, you would have a separate zone for the nighttime one than you would have for the so you don't need to put two of them in there. There'll be just the one.
Yeah, just the one zone, and then just rename it as night for the other one.
Yeah.
Because they're separate price points.
Okay. So now the zone thing, just to let you know, it's advantageous on the enforcement side because you can actually set your handheld to that particular zone, and then anything that doesn't match that zone automatically comes up as invalid. So it just makes it faster for the because if you don't set the zone, essentially it's going to read all the vehicles and it's going to give you a warning on the ones that don't match the rule.
Yeah.
Rather than to say it's necessarily not valid.
Right.
So if it depends on how your officer or how you want to do your patrols. I mean, it's just a part of your process as to how you want to work that.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So any questions from last session in terms of the system messaging or anything like that? Was there anything that you guys had started to look at that you wanted to ask questions about?
I think it's good.
No, I'm good. I was just checking my notes to make sure that there wasn't anything else there, but
okay.
I think we're good.
Okay, we're getting through this a lot faster than I expected, so that's the reason I'm sort of stalling.
That's all right. We'll make up for it once we actually start screwing it up in real time.
John will be like, "What about this? What about that?"
Yeah. Well, it's in one way you're good because what we've been experiencing over the COVID time is that I will do some training and then somebody will go on hold for a couple of months, and then when they come back to it, I pretty much have to train them all over again because if they're not using it in a practical sense, they forget it real quickly.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say that won't happen here either.
So I'm prepared for that. That's what's happening these days. But hopefully we'll get you guys rolling and into it, and then we won't have that situation.
Yeah.
John, do we need to have our handhelds? Like, I know the SIM cards I don't know if we've got them yet, but they were shipped. We've got that notification. So do you need us to do anything on this end or?
Well, if you do get them in time, it would be great to have them on hand so that you could follow along with me. But if not, it's really not a serious issue. What I do is I'll take my handheld and through a program I have called Visor, I'll project it into the meeting screen, so you'll be able to see an actual handheld working.
Okay. Trevor said that they should be here. Actually, they're probably here now. I just don't know if he's been in to actually see them. So
yeah, he was in yesterday, but he's supposed to come in today, so I'll get him to check again.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah. So then what will happen is you'll be able to follow along and issue a violation and that type of thing. I think Robin set them up to point to your preview site. So I'll double check that because we don't want to be writing violations into your production site.
Let's not, please.
Let's not. I mean, we can always delete them or take them out. There's no issue there if we did make a mistake. Like I say, almost anything that if you make a mistake in the system, we can reverse. There's nothing really that I can think of that's catastrophic unless, no. The only thing that I've done in my career here is one time I gave somebody some bad advice and they deleted all their lockers. So we had to go back into the backups and fix them. So that was the only one thing that I did first year I was working here. Yeah, I messed something up. Okay, I guess that's the only other thing I had to ask you was about, so the next session we're going to do the enforcement, and then the session after that is going to be your finance, right?
Yeah.
When are we anticipating getting hands on the software, John, just so I know, because I'm going to need some lead time to get things like offenses set up and do the lot set up and the rest of it. So do we have a timeline set on that? Or
you can actually start to do that now if you want. So what we need to do then is what I'll do, I'll set it up for you. I'll set you I think, Nadine, you already have an admin account on production. I believe, Paul, you have an account on preview, but if we want, there's no reason in the way we used to do it is people would set everything up in preview and then we'd pull it over to production.
Yeah.
But I've sort of gotten away from that now because we're actually phasing out the preview sites anyway. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to start writing straight into production. I mean, there's nothing that you can really mess up when you're just setting up fences. And
no, yeah, exactly. And I just thought, like, especially next week, Nadine, where I'm doing those longer days, that time early in the morning will be best put to use if I can just start banging all the offenses into it and getting everything set up. So
okay, so what I'll do is I'll set you up an admin account on the production system, and I'll send you an email when it's ready. But just use the password ABC123, lowercase 123, and then you'll be prompted to create a secure password.
Okay.
Okay, and then you can start to go into the system, take a look around, and look at the messaging, set up your violations, set up locations, and things like that you want to have set up.
Perfect. That'll give me an opportunity to set up the lots to try and get a few things knocked out of the way. The offenses is going to be the biggest thing, just because it's tedious work, and
absolutely
making sure that I get everything put in there. And I'll I mean, other than maybe finding that little hole where I have to dump that $16 admin charge in, that'll be the only thing that I'll have to. But that's fine.
I think that's good if we get that going, because then we might need another little session if Paul has some questions or whatever.
Sure.
So that's good.
So what will happen is you'll get in there, and questions will come up, I'm sure. So it's a good thing that you do get in there early and start to work with it, and then we can field the questions in the next sessions as well.
Okay.
Because we are going through this stuff so fast, there's lots of time to answer questions. So
perfect.
Yeah. Okay, and I mean, your setup is pretty straightforward in regards to, like, we've got some other clients that have so many different weird rules, like University of Northern Alabama. They have some bizarre stuff going on there. So it's very, very, they've got, 40 lots, that type of thing, and they have virtual lots for each one of those because they have 3 different types of users that park in all those different lots at different price points. So relatively speaking, you guys are going to be a breeze to set up.
Well, we'll try not to make you need the Tylenol too often. How's that?
I'm not too worried. All right. So I think we'll end the session for today. Thanks very much. And I'll set that up for you, Paul, and I'll send you an email. I do have another meeting to go into that might take me till 11 or something.
It's not a, well, I shouldn't say it's not a priority. I will have some extra time next week. So if I can start tackling it, I'd like to try and at least get ahead of the curve so that we're ready to go live the minute we have everything in place. So
Yeah, and Nadine, have you logged into the production site or any?
I haven't yet. I didn't know we were supposed to be honest with you. I thought you wanted.
Oh no, you're not. It's not a requirement.
Yeah.
No. I just wondered. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hadn't. I thought I'd wait till the training was done, so I don't screw anything up. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. No worries. Okay, because I think you have an account in there, but I'm pretty sure it has the ABC123 password as well. But let me just check for you here.
We got the emails about that. It was red screen. Yeah. Okay.
That's right. Yeah. So if you could take. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. So
it came up. I couldn't see the code, and even Trevor couldn't. I think Paul might have saw his. But anyway, once you send it again, it was good. So I don't know.
I just sent it as plain text the second time, I think, or something. I did.
It came in the red screen, and we couldn't see it. So okay, well, it's good.
Okay, that's interesting because we sent you that from a system that we've just started to send emails out of because it does this nice formatting and everything. But it's good to know that sometimes that doesn't work.
Yeah, just that color, and only just from my accessibility committee hat. I know they would say it's hard for them sometimes to see in the color. So anyway, it's fine. I thought it was